Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace. Of course, I am joined tonight by none other than, that's right, we call him the long-haired Dragon Viper. How you doing tonight, my man?
Doing good. How are you?
You know what? I'm actually doing pretty good myself. And then, of course, tonight, that's right, the man, the myth, the legend is back, and he goes by Mr. Mess Around Dave. How you doing tonight?
I'm great. We just finished up with some barbecue, had some good stuff on the grill, and the champ is here.
The champ is here. I love to see that, man. The champ is here. So as you know, on all Between the Ropes episodes that we do, we always start out by covering, that little bit of Raw, that little bit of SmackDown. So with that, of course, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to jump into the Raw side. So with Raw, let's go ahead and start out with that first match, even though, well, before we jump into that first match, let's keep in mind what happened to kick off Raw. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about that really quick because, that was kind of a big part of Raw because if you remember at the very beginning when Bobby Lashley was out there and then Drew McIntyre came out and then said, you know what, I want a title shot. I want a one-on-one shot with Bobby Lashley. And then Kofi Kingston came out and was talking with them and said, you know what, I beat Bobby Lashley last week. So I deserve that title shot, which, you know what, in reality, Kofi's right because he never actually got that rematch. He never did. When he lost the title, he never got the rematch. And he did beat Lashley last week. So, you know what, he had a point. So, Dragon Viper, I'm going to start out with you. What do you think of the whole the whole speech to start Raw?
I hate saying this, but Kofi did have a point. McIntyre has had multiple opportunities. Kofi did beat Lashley in a match last week. Kofi does have a point, and as much as I hate saying this, Kofi does deserve another title match. So, yeah.
You're dang right. You're dang right. Kofi has a point because Kofi always has a point. Mess around. What do you think? Do you think that Kofi Kingston has a legitimate point on this because he's talking about never getting his rematch? And then, yeah, he actually came out too and told Drew, you know what? You lost your match, so you need to go to the back of the line because you get rematch after rematch after rematch, and you've come up short every time. So now you go to the back of the line and you wait for us.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's totally not wrong. Like, McIntyre gets everything he wants. He's like shoved down our throats, gets rematch after rematch. Kofi lost his to Lesnar and never got his rematch, so he totally had the point. He definitely deserves that shot. And I hope he does beat Drew next week. But I honestly see a triple threat in the Hell in a Cell for the title.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. All right. Dragon Viper, let's go ahead and jump into that first match on Monday Night Raw. Before we do that, Amy says that she's watching from home. And then Mr. Brandon Herrera says, what up, Ace, Mess Around, and Mr. Second Place in Trivia, president of the RKO Fan Club Dragon Viper. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into that first match of the night.
I don't mind being second place. Anyway, the first match of the night was Kofi Kingston versus Drew McIntyre. The winner ended up being a no contest because of a double disqualification because Bobby Lashley and MVP jumped both guys.
Absolutely. So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts on this match was originally.
I thought it was okay. I mean, Kofi held his own against McIntyre. it would have been nice to have a clear-cut winner, especially because now it's going to happen. The same match is going to happen next week.
Mhm.
So I figured it would be better with a clear-cut winner.
You know what, though? Next week, I think we will end up getting that clear-cut winner simply because of the fact that you know exactly what Adam Pearce said was that, you know, if Lashley or MVP gets involved, he is going to end up getting suspended for 90 days without pay. However, though, you could also see something interesting end up happening, how they end up getting somebody else involved in the match to interfere. So you could definitely end up seeing that too.
Which would end up putting them into a triple threat match.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Mess Around Dave is saying could potentially happen. That you could end up seeing that whole triple threat match happen at Hell in a Cell. And you know what? I truly believe that it definitely is going to happen. So, Mess Around. So, as we know, in the first match on Raw between Drew McIntyre and Kofi Kingston ended in that draw. So next week, now they're going to have that whole match. And then, you know, what was your thoughts on this match?
I thought the match was good until the end when they had MVP and Lashley interfered, you know, caused the disqualification. But like you said, they're setting up for that potentially triple threat Hell in a Cell. So other than that, I thought it was okay for a Drew McIntyre match. Y'all know how I feel about Drew.
Well, yeah, but I know how you feel about Kofi too, and knowing that Kofi's really, really talented, and we've already said on this show many times that Kofi does deserve a rematch. And so hopefully next week, which I think how it's going to come down to it is I think it's going to end up just like you said. They're going to end up getting that triple threat match at Hell in a Cell. Bobby Lashley's going to probably retain because we've heard the multiple rumors right now that Brock Lesnar is on his way back. Well, at least Paul Heyman's been dropping hints about it because people are saying that, you know, once Bobby Lashley gets back, it's going to be Lashley against Reigns, and then the winner has the right to Paul Heyman. But we'll go ahead and jump into that later. My thoughts on this match was it was actually a good match. You can see the skill level for Kofi Kingston. Somehow I'm still trying to figure out if Drew McIntyre is actually talented or if these guys just come out and carry him. I haven't completely decided yet, but I think we kind of have the latter here. So Christy Wilson is actually watching tonight. She's coming out saying, I hate Brock Lesnar. Okay, so here's my point on that, okay? So if you don't like Brock Lesnar, that's okay. But the thing is right now with the way that WWE is going with their ratings and everything, the only person that can save Monday Night Raw is, in fact, Brock Lesnar. They need Brock Lesnar back because he's going to be the one that's going to sell those seats. He's going to bring butts in that stadium, and they need him back really, really bad. And I think that you will end up seeing it back, or you got to take Seth freaking Rollins from Friday Night SmackDown and put him on Monday Night Raw because you do need that person on Monday. You do. I mean, you need that other person on Monday Night Raw. You need more help.
Yeah, for sure. SmackDown has all the talent. They need a guy like Seth to move over to Raw unless they're bringing Lesnar back to Raw.
Well, they need them. They need Monday Night Rollins again. So yes, it needs to come back.
I think you will see. I truly believe that you will see Brock Lesnar on Monday Night Raw because Brock Lesnar is not a SmackDown guy. He's never really been a big SmackDown guy. He's mainly been Raw. But Christy Wilson is now saying that she doesn't think that Lesnar will be able to save Raw. Rollins, yes, but Lesnar, no. And that is, in fact, see, this is the thing. When you look at the actual selling point of merchandise and when fans show up when Brock Lesnar's there. That's the thing, because they love to hate on Brock Lesnar so much, so he's there. That's why WWE puts the belt on Brock Lesnar so much, because of the selling point for Brock Lesnar. He's worth so much money and brings in all that draw. That's why they put Brock Lesnar in these big-time matches. Now, Brandon Herrera is also leaving a comment saying WWE needs Goldberg and Cena. No, come on. Don't get me started on Goldberg. No.
Oh,
Get Goldberg out of
Brandon.
here. No. And I'm saying that he needs to come back. But, okay. So, Dragon Viper, let's go ahead and jump into that second match.
Second match was Nikki Cross versus Rhea Ripley, some type of beat the clock challenge, and Nikki Cross won.
Well, okay, so basically for the viewers who may not have seen it, all it basically was that Charlotte Flair was talking about how, she could beat Nikki Cross in 2 minutes, but she already had a match coming up with Asuka, so she didn't want to go up against Nikki Cross. And Rhea Ripley was like, oh, okay. And so Charlotte was like, hey, why don't you challenge Nikki Cross and beat her in 2 minutes? And so Rhea was like, yeah, I can do that. But then you could see that during this match with Nikki Cross that she forgot that it was a beat the clock match. She was too focused on trying to put the beat down on Nikki Cross that the clock ran out. And so technically, therefore, Nikki Cross was the winner because the time had expired past the 2 minute mark. So it was kind of interesting how they did this whole match because you could see how excited Nikki Cross was because she's like, yeah, I lasted 2 minutes in the ring with Rhea Ripley and technically I beat her. A win is a win, as they would like to say. So I don't know, mess around. I'll go ahead and start with you. What do you think of this whole 2 minute beat the clock with Nikki Cross?
I thought it was funny actually because you could see you could tell like you were saying she totally forgot what she was in there to do. She got so focused and irritated and frustrated that that Nikki just kept coming at her, and then she started just trying to wail on her and put the beat down. She forgot what she was doing, and then the clock ran out. So it was funny more than anything else.
All right, Dragon Viper, how about you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought it was funny, and I'm actually glad to see Nikki back in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I like Nikki Cross, and I enjoy watching her, in the ring. So, but yeah, it was funny. I mean, other than that, it was okay. It was pretty quick, but for a beat the clock challenge, it normally is. Normally, though, I would like to see a beat the clock challenge when they're going for something. Usually you'd see one where it's whoever wins their match the fastest time gets a title shot, or whatever the stipulation is. So it was quite interesting that they did a beat the clock challenge with nothing going on with it, but.
Yeah, but I think in the end, you're going to end it up meaning something. We just don't know what yet, but maybe they end up going, okay, now that she lasted 2 minutes with Rhea Ripley this week, maybe she has to go against Charlotte next week, and they put that 2 minutes on the clock, and then Charlotte doesn't beat her in 2 minutes or whatever it may be. But I think in the end, it's going to end up being, because you know how they can end up doing a beat the clock challenge, and then whoever wins it gets to pick the stipulation of the match or whatever. Maybe that's what ends up happening on this one. Maybe it just ends up being because that Charlotte is going to obviously be going up against Rhea Ripley again. You know why? Because what they need to do is just change Charlotte's name from Charlotte Flair and give her the name of the Opportunity. Give her the name of the Opportunity, because that's what Charlotte Flair is. She is the Opportunity. That's Charlotte Flair.
No.
I'm being realistic. She's the Opportunity. That's who she is. It's Charlotte Flair, the 13th time
to go away.
Yeah, go away, Charlotte. Bye.
You know why? Because it's woo.
I think another company's calling Charlotte right now.
All right, Dragon Viper, take us into that next match.
Oh, and the next match. Well, speaking of Charlotte versus Asuka, and the winner, Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlotte got the victory. So Christy Wilson actually has a comment that says Charlotte Flair should be called the title hog.
Yep.
Yes.
I
Yes.
agree.
So,
Yes.
so we have
Yes.
another viewer that is not a Charlotte Flair fan.
Love it.
She's the queen. She's Charlotte Flair. I, for one, will never change my mind about Charlotte Flair. Does she get a lot of opportunities? Yes, she does. Is she talented? Absolutely. Does she get all these opportunities because of her father? Well, I don't know. You know, but she's very, very talented. So it's really hard to see at this point if it's because of Ric Flair or not.
It's totally because of Ric Flair. Look how many talented people there has been in the past that didn't get the opportunities she's getting.
Exactly. Talent. I mean, and they've had more talent than Charlotte has.
You know, at this point in time, I really, really want to see Alexa Bliss back in the title picture. But I'll save that because right now we're talking about Charlotte and Asuka. But yet again, when we talk about the Charlotte and Asuka match, this was actually yet again another very, very, very good match. And why? Because Charlotte and Asuka, they work so well together. That's why you see them in so many matches because they're like that dynamic duo that when you see them in a match, you're like, I could watch them again and again and again and again because they're that talented. Now, Asuka actually for kind of she's not like old, but she's one of the older divas in WWE, but she can still put on a great match. And so I was actually happy for Asuka that she held the women's championship for as long as she did. And so for some reason, though, I'm thinking that Asuka might get put back in this match again. Somehow, some way, I think it could end up being another triple threat. But mess around. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, like you said, these guys have great chemistry in the ring. They put on a hell of a show every time they have a match together. I wasn't surprised that the opportunity, as she likes to call herself, got the win. You knew it was coming because she lost the previous week to Asuka, so she wasn't going to lose twice in a row to Asuka. That just wasn't going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Dragon Viper, how about yourself?
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, great match. Always a great match between those two. You know, I'm with Mess Around on this. I don't like Charlotte. She has talent, but that's, you know, not talent enough to be a champion, or should I say be given the championship. But yeah, it was overall great match. I'd like to see it more times. So,
all right. Like I talked about this match to start out with, it was a great match. If I had to give this a actual maybe a letter grade, I think I would put it right around actually B+ because I actually really enjoyed this match. But Dragon Viper, let's go ahead and take it to that next match of the night.
It was actually my match of the night, by the way. So, the next one was Riddle versus Woods, with the winner being Riddle.
RK Bro.
And what was so interesting about this was, what was so funny about this is like at the end, you could see that Matt Riddle was getting frustrated because Xavier Woods just kept staying in the match. And so at the very end, Matt Riddle's like, fine. And so he puts the RKO on Xavier Woods, uses the RKO and wins the match with the RKO. And then afterwards, you could kind of see he was frustrated, but then he gets up and he's like, and he starts laughing because he realized that he used the RKO to win the match. And so, and you're shaking your head, Dragon Viper, you're shaking your head. But it was actually a great match, and I love to see that Matt Riddle used the RKO to win the match.
Yes.
It was brilliant. It was awesome because now that's why they're called the RK Bro. Now it's freaking awesome. And so we have a few comments here. So John Backman is saying that he's a WWE fan, and then you also have Christy Wilson who's saying Riddle using the RKO look awkward to me. Well, it's gonna look awkward because that's not technically his finisher. but it was still cool. I liked it. So, Mess Around, you being a huge Randy Orton fan, we know that's your guy. He's your favorite. So tell me, what do you think about Matt Riddle using the RKO to beat Xavier Woods?
It was brilliant. It was awesome, amazing. I wasn't expecting to see it, especially from Riddle. But the moment he hit it, I was like, "Oh my god, he just used the RKO. That is so cool!" And then he gets the pin, and he gets up on the rope, and he does the Orton pose.
Yeah. So when you think about it, though, like, do you think that there's going to be some kind of backlash where Randy Orton's going to be like, "Look, we're RK Bro, but don't be using my RKO. That's not your finisher. That's mine."
It could happen. Randy could get mad about that because he didn't ask permission for it beforehand. So you could see something happen there. But to me, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was amazing.
I can see Dragon Viper up there shaking his head. We already know where he's going with this because we know he's not a fan of RK Bro. But you're the number one member, man. You are the president of the RK Bro fan club.
No,
that's your fan club.
No.
All right, so tell me, what was your thoughts on the match?
I didn't care for it.
Of course you didn't.
Of course you didn't.
You know, I really, I don't know. I didn't care for it. You know, it may have been creative for Riddle to use the RKO. It may have been creative, but I didn't even like that. You know, and I really hope Randy Orton tears into him by using it. So, because, you know, Randy's way better than everybody else. So,
but tell me that wasn't cool. Tell me that wasn't cool.
I said it was creative. That's as far positive as I'm gonna get with that.
All right, and so Brandon Herrera is also saying, shocker, he did not care for it. Absolutely, because Dragon Viper generally does not care for it. Like, that's his big thing. So for any viewers who are new out here watching the first episode of Between the Ropes, you see us ragging a lot on Dragon Viper because I think you can count on one hand how many matches or how many wrestlers he actually likes. But Dragon Viper, go ahead and take us into that next match of the night.
Next match was Natalia. Was the main event Natalia and Tamina versus Jackson Baszler for the women's tag team titles, and the winners were Tamina and Natalia.
Yes, because just think what happened before the match started. Shayna Baszler told Reginald and said, "I'm getting sick and tired of you interfering in our matches. You keep costing us matches." And this is kind of where you're starting to see the little bit of a rift going on because she's telling Nia that she's like, "You're not as focused now as you were, especially since Reginald has come in the picture." And Reginald's like, "I'm only here just to try and help you guys. That's all I'm trying to do." And Shayna's like, "No, you're not really helping us. You're costing us more matches than anything, so I want you to stay backstage." And then what ends up happening during the match? You see Reginald come out again, and then he ends up costing Shayna and Nia the match again. And so that ends up at the end of it to where Shayna's like, "You know what? We're going to see how this goes next week," when she decided to challenge Reginald to an actual match next week on Raw. So it's going to kind of be interesting to see a match between Reginald and Shayna Baszler. However, when you're talking about this match in general, it was kind of the way I figured it was going to go. I figured that Natalia and Tamina were going to retain. I'm like, it's too soon. They're not going to lose the belts. Now is when you're going to finally start seeing that split up of Nia and Shayna. And I think what's going to end up happening is that what I've heard the rumors are, which I think they're probably true, you're going to end up seeing one of them challenge for the women's championship and winning it, and then the other one winning the Money in the Bank. I think that's where it's going to end up going. But Mess Around, I'll start with you. What did you think of the match overall, the beginning and the end and everything else?
I thought the match was okay. I mean, it's another, they've had so many matches against each other. I mean, how many times are you going to do this type of thing?
Mhm.
It gets old after a while. They need to find new challengers for the belt.
All right. So Dragon Viper, let's not forget too that at the end of the match, it was as Reginald was walking up the ramp. That's when the fireworks flew up again, the pyros, and it like hit Reginald in the face again. So you know that it had something to do with Alexa Bliss. But Dragon Viper, what was your thoughts on this match overall?
Well, my thoughts were the same as Mess Around. I mean, it's I love seeing Natalia and Tamina wrestle. I love the fact they're tag champs.
Absolutely.
I'm sick of the Nia and Baszler tag team. I think with this thing with Baszler and Reginald, it's gonna start splitting them apart.
It's coming.
It is coming, and so I mean, it was okay. I'm just tired of the same match with the four of them, or even with Nia and Baszler being a tag team. So it's time for something for Natalia and Tamina to go, against other people.
All right. So any last takes on Raw before we go ahead and jump over to SmackDown? Mess around. I'll start with you. Anything else you want to add in there?
I'm just looking forward to see what Randy has to say about really using the RKO.
Yeah.
Dragon Vipers, are you basically going the same way on that? You can't wait to see what he has to say?
Yep, because I hope he tears Riddle apart with it.
All right, so we do have a few comments here. So Amy says that Riddle even said that one was for Randy. And then Christy Wilson's also saying that she loves Natalia and Tamina. And Christy Wilson also says that I think Shayna and Nia break up if she beats Reginald. And then Brandon Herrera is saying, can I give Dragon Viper's take on that match? Because I think he knew what your take was going to be, so he wanted to give it. But since that was the recap of Monday Night Raw, how about we go ahead and jump over to Friday Night SmackDown? So, Dragon Viper, go ahead and kick us off. But before we go to that first match, remember what happened to kick off SmackDown? Was that you saw the Usos in the locker room, and they were talking with, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, as he likes to call himself. And they were talking to him about the tag team match. And, at the end, Roman Reigns is like, good luck, because you're definitely going to need it. Because he knew how, they were facing the Street Profits, which transitions into our first match of the night. The Street Profits versus the Usos. The Usos ended up winning this match, which throughout the match you saw several times that the Usos were actually, saving each other, helping each other out. I'm still a little confused on exactly where it's going to lead. I think that you are going to see them end up turning on Reigns. I think you're going to finally get Jimmy to get Jay to understand that, they can still be an awesome tag team without Reigns there. And so I think it's going to happen. I'm waiting for it to happen. I can't wait for it to happen. But mess around. Go ahead and tell me about this match. Usos and Street Profits.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you finally get the match that everybody wants to see. Usos versus Street Profits, two of the great tag teams on this SmackDown division. It was a great match. A lot of high flyers, especially Montez Ford. That guy can jump out of the gym. I really love this match. It was great. And I'm with you. I can't wait for the turn on Reigns. It's going to happen. I'm hoping it happens. When is it going to happen? Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely waiting for it, though. So, Dragon Viper, give me your thoughts on this match.
I actually like this match.
Wow.
It was a good match. I mean, I don't like the Street Profits. Everybody knows this, but they did very well on SmackDown, and it was great to see the Usos back together, as a tag team. So, and I agree with you guys. I think they're going to end up turning on Reigns as soon as Jimmy can talk some sense into Jay, and they'll be away from him and hopefully start going for those tag titles again. So,
keep in mind they are going after the tag team titles next week.
Well, yeah, if we jump ahead.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, just keep in mind they're going after him next week. But that's where, in turn, when you think about it, that's where Reigns could actually end up costing them the match because he doesn't want them to win the tag team titles. So you could see that next week. But the one thing that I will say with Mess Around is that this is a match that I think people have been wanting to see for a very long time. The Street Profits versus the Usos, and you finally get to see it. Two of the top tag teams in the business, and you finally got to see them compete. And I'll tell you what, it did not disappoint. Definitely did not disappoint at all.
Not at all. Time to take him to the Uso Penitentiary.
Uso Penitentiary. All right. Dragon Viper, let's go to that next match.
Next match was the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. And the winners were Tamina and Natalya.
Tamina and Natalya. All right, so I think that we kind of saw this coming again. I really think that you were not shocked that Tamina and Natalya were going to win. But Mess Around, you can go ahead and start out with this one.
No, I wasn't surprised at all that they won. Because like you said earlier, it's too soon to take titles off them. But the Riot Squad looked really good in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I think down the road they could be potential tag team champs. If not sooner than later.
Definitely. I definitely feel about that. So, Dragon Viper, you tell me, what do you think?
I actually enjoyed this match. It was good to see, Tamina and Natalya actually face somebody other than Jackson Baszler. The Riot Squad did well, and I was actually surprised that the Riot Squad lost, only because of the fact that I see them, going for the women's tag titles, and they have a lot of talent. They do really well in the ring, and so I actually was surprised when the Riot Squad lost. So really good match, and yeah.
I think you will end up seeing the Riot Squad challenge them for the titles. I think it's coming because of how good this match was. And Mess Around, you were right. The Riot Squad actually looked good in this match. Mm-hmm. So maybe they will challenge, and hopefully they will, and we'll actually get to see a repeat of this match. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. But Dragon Viper, let's go ahead and jump into that next match of the night.
Well, the next match of the night was Belair versus Carmella, with the winner Belair.
And don't forget who came down. Ding dong.
Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey came down. Ding dong. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Bailey came down, and yet again, the Bailey and Bianca Belair, the whole storyline with them is going to continue to go on for a while. You're going to continue to see it for a while. It's actually a good rivalry, if you ask me. But, this is the first time that I've actually heard negative things about Bailey, to where somebody's actually saying that Bailey's finally starting to get annoying. But I still like her character, I still think that she's talented enough. She definitely needs to be up there in the title picture. She does. She had the belt. She lost it. But, she had the longest reigning championship run. So obviously she has the talent to be up there, but jumping back into the Bianca Belair and Mela is money,
My
as
girl.
I would like to say, the Mela match. But I give props to Carmella because Carmella has actually gotten better in the ring. So she's actually been more impressive. I think she's actually been working hard because if you remember when Carmella first started, she's kind of like that one move to where everyone's like, oh, all she can do is a super kick. That's it. But she's starting to actually get a little bit of an arsenal of moves. Overall, I enjoyed the match. It was good. And I can't wait to see where this whole rivalry between Bayley and Bianca Belair is going to go. But mess around, I'll go to you.
Yeah, the match was decent for a Carmella match. I mean, like you said, she only had to kick to start out with, and she's getting a lot better. Not good enough to be in the title picture at this point, but maybe down the road. And you knew that Belair wasn't going to lose to Carmella, so. But I also Bayley definitely needs to be in the title picture because she is so talented and carried that division for so long.
Oh, definitely. Dragon Viper, how about you? Let me guess. I didn't like the match. I didn't like the. Okay, go ahead.
You know, you're actually right on that. I actually found it more entertaining watching Bayley around ringside than I did with the actual match. Carmella, she's slowly getting better. I'm going to admit that. She's slowly getting better, but still not impressive enough for me. And so again, Bayley being around ringside was more entertaining than the actual match. So,
ding dong, hello. Okay, I like that. So Christy Wilson is also saying I'm sick and tired of Bayley, but so when this is the thing. I think when people are sick and tired of Bayley, because generally, I'll tell you this. Generally, you have two types of wrestling fans. You have the wrestling fans that like to root for the heels, and then you have the wrestling fans that like to go for the face. Now, we've all seen. I'm more of a heel guy myself. I am not. Now, I will say not all heels, but I'm more of a heel guy with some faces in there. Like I'm a big Seth Rollins fan, and AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler and guys like that. But mess around. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like a lot of the heels too. I think the thing is a lot of people don't like. Yeah, Bayley is kind of annoying, but that's part of her character. It's who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing her job when she's annoying like that. She's playing to her character. So if you're annoyed by her, she's doing her job.
Now I know your girl was in this match, so you can tell me a little bit about this.
My girl Mela. Mela is money. Someday she's gonna get that championship bag, and then she'll be Mela is money again.
She will, but we still call her Mela is money. She's still there. We still say Mela is money.
That's right.
But all right, let's jump into that next match of the night there, Dragon Viper.
All right. And I did want to add a side note to that.
Go ahead.
That match. I'm irritated with Bayley as well. I don't like Bayley, but it's the lesser of two evils here, in my opinion. I like Bayley more than Belair, so of course I'm gonna go for Bayley. Anyway, next match was Owens versus Apollo Crews, with the winner being Owens by disqualification. No surprise.
No surprise. But Kevin Owens is finally getting a shot. Thank you very much. We all knew, and I know people say he got a shot against Roman Reigns, but come on. You knew he wasn't going to win the title against Reigns. But realistically, he might beat Apollo Crews for the title. He very well could. And so I'm definitely waiting to see a belt put back on Kevin Owens. Overall, this was actually a really, really good match. I enjoy the match. Kevin Owens is talented. Apollo Crews is actually talented, but I just think that it's time for Kevin Owens to finally get a title put back on him. Mess around. Go ahead. Take it away.
Totally agreed. I mean, he went from a KO show to fight Owens fight. Now it's stunned the world. So let's get that title back on him. He needs it. It's been far too long since he's had a title on him. So I agree. The guy needs a title in the match. The match was really good. Apollo Crews can wrestle. He's had the title long enough. I mean, he deserves the title to begin with, but I don't think he deserves to keep it as long as he has.
Stun, Owens, stun. So we have a few comments coming out here. So going back to Bailey for a second, Christy Wilson saying that she reminds me of Britt Baker of AEW in terms of being the annoying her. She also says, okay, so, the annoying heel, that's what she meant to say. Brandon Herrera is also saying, Mella is money. So he wants you to keep in mind that Mella is still money there, mess around. And then Christy Wilson is also saying KO does deserve a shot, and Cruz just needs to get rid of what's his name.
Agreed.
I can't pronounce it either, so.
Dragon Viper, what do you think?
It was a good match.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Every week he walks into that.
No, I don't. I'm just kind of irritated with it, but no. But the thing is I like this match. It was athletic. The annoying thing about this match was, that guy getting involved once again, to allow Apollo to win. I wasn't a real big Apollo Crews fan, but I want to see him go back to how he was, not how he is now. This storyline that he's got now is kind of just not. It's ignorant. I don't like it. But I do want to see KO winning the Intercontinental title. He deserves it. I agree with you guys. He deserves it. It's been a while since he's been a champion. He's not, as long as Roman Reigns is, Universal Champion, Owens is not going to get it. So he might as well get the second step down of a title, which would be the Intercontinental title. So, hopefully pretty soon he does win it.
On the talent side, though, Apollo has a lot of talent.
He does have talent, yeah. But
he is talented. All right, so Dragon Viper, let's go ahead and jump into the next.
Next one was Nakamura versus Chad Gable, with the winner being Nakamura.
Yeah, and so it's kind of interesting, too, because think about the person that is now with Nakamura, Alex Boogs. And so, when you're talking about Alex Boogs, he's another guy who plays the guitar. There's a lot of people out there saying he's just a cheap knockoff of Elias because you just took Elias's gimmick and you put it on somebody else, which is technically true. That's all they did. They took Elias's gimmick and they said, we're going to just stick it on somebody else. Yeah. And that's technically what happened. But overall, when you look at this match, overall, the match was actually it wasn't horrible. I just think it's kind of interesting how Nakamura and Corbin have a rivalry going on over a crown. It's over a crown. So mess around. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, one of the dumbest storylines of the year. Over a crown? Are you kidding me? Stupid. Over a crown. And then you got the guy trying to be Elias, which is utterly ridiculous. How many guys do you need playing a guitar and singing? Stupid. But the match itself wasn't, like you said, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either.
No, but we have a comment that says Elias can't shred on the guitar like Boogs can. Boogs.
I think they both suck.
Well, of course you would say that. You think anybody out there sucks. But Dragon Viper, tell me about the match.
Wow, it was an okay match. Yeah, I definitely want to see Nakamura go against guys that are like higher up in card. You know, I mean, Chad Gable. I just feel like he's more of a low card guy. So you know, Nakamura needs to start going back up that ladder and facing higher card guys. So, but overall, this match was okay for me.
Yeah, because Gable's not even that mid card guy. I mean, he's a low card guy that you see every now and then. He's not even that huge. So yeah, Nakamura, but you know, they had to put Nakamura against somebody to try and keep the rivalry with him and Corbin going, to where Corbin tries to steal the crown back, but then Nakamura gets it back in the end. I don't know. It's just the storyline to me is just interesting right now because it's over a crown.
It's stupid.
But
Agreed.
go ahead, Dragon Viper, and take us into the next.
The next match was the main event: Mysterios versus Rude and Ziggler for the tag team championships, with the winners being the Mysterios.
Which, let's keep in mind, though, this was just like a repeat of the pay-per-view. But this time it was Rey Mysterio getting hurt. And I knew that once Rey Mysterio got hurt, and they're like, oh, Rey Mysterio got hurt, I don't know how it happened, but you know that Dominic Mysterio isn't going to come out here by himself. In my mind, I'm like, yep, we know what's going to happen. Dominic Mysterio is going to come out by himself in the end. Mysterio is going to come walking out, and the Mysterios are going to retain. And that's pretty much what ended up happening. So it was basically just a repeat of it, except Mysterio didn't technically get involved in wrestling in this match. He was more of the distraction to help Dominic get the roll-up on Rude to get the victory. And so you saw that was coming. I mean, almost anybody could see that coming from a mile away, being like, yeah, Mysterio's going to come down just like it happened at the pay-per-view. But mess around. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing these roll-ups. The only thing that really saved this match for me was that it had Ziggler and Rude in it. Other than that, it wouldn't have been worth watching. And like you said, it was predictable that Rey would come out at the end and play hero, cause a distraction. Hopefully, the Usos take the titles off for next week.
You want to see him take it off, okay? Dragon Viper, how about yourself?
Yeah, it was very, very predictable. I mean, they used the same storyline, or the same, part of the storyline, but reversed the family member. It was stupid. And to let the Mysterios win again, I'm still not on Dominic wrestling. I still think he still needs a lot of work. And I'm looking forward to the Usos taking those titles away from them.
Well, you're going to be waiting longer because I don't think it's going to happen next week. But that's that. Anyhow, since we have 10 minutes left, we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll through our 3-count topics here. We're going to get that roll-up, that patented roll-up like the WWE likes, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, because it's going to be that 3-count topic. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump into our first topic, which we've all heard the rumors that John Cena is coming back. Now, the big thing about the whole John Cena speculation and John Cena coming back is I don't think people realize John Cena is not going to come back as full-time. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be like one of those Rock or Stone Cold or
Batista.
Or Batista or somebody like that. That's going to come in. Or The Undertaker, that's going to come and do a quick feud, maybe last maybe a month or two, and then he's going to be gone for a while again. Is it going to be bad? I mean, no, because people want to see John Cena. There's a lot of people who go, yeah, I can't wait to see him back again. But just keep in mind, if you're a John Cena fan, he's not going to be there full time, so don't get your hopes up on that. So, Dragon Viper, I'll jump to you on that one.
I'm going to go so far as to say that I don't even believe he'll even have a feud. I think he's just going to come in, plug his movie, which he's in the Fast and Furious 9 movie, and plug his movie and say a few comments, and then he'll be gone again. Him showing up, people want to see him. I don't remember. It'll be around the time that the fans come back, in the arenas, and then on tour. I think it's just a big plug for people to come in to the arena, because I believe he's doing it the same night as them starting it up. And he's just going to bring the audience in for one night, say, hey, I'm in Fast and Furious 9, and then he's going to leave for a while again. So it's good, but I don't think he's even going to stay even a week or two. So,
all right, mess around. How about you?
I think it's good that John Cena comes back. I honestly think the only reason to bring him back is for ratings, to drive the ratings up. People want to see Cena. Even if he's not going to have a feud, even if he's going to do what Dragon Viper said, just come in and do a shameless plug, cut a promo or two. I mean, it'd be awesome if he had a quick feud that lasted a month or so. But who knows? I think it's good for WWE, though.
All right, so going into our next 3-count topic here. Our next 3-count topic is, we know that that WWE is going to be going back on the road. We know that WWE is going to be allowing fans back in the stadiums again. So does that mean that ratings are going to go up and storylines are going to change? Now, if you ask for my opinion on that, I'll tell you now. If you're trying to get your hopes up that the storylines are going to change, it's not going to. Because the WWE has kept the same storylines going forever. Even when the fans were there, the storylines were all the same. So it's not going to matter if the fans are back or not. The storylines are still going to be the same. They're still not going to change. Now, are the ratings going to go up? I mean, potentially, because people are going to want to get out and about now. And people have not been able to see the live shows for a while. So I think that's why the ratings will probably go back up, because now they're getting excited to go out and see those live shows. But, mess around. How about you?
Well, having the fans back is great. It's awesome for the WWE, because the fans really drive the product. The fans make the show, really, honestly. But the storylines are not going to change. They've been bad for years. And you're not going to change, so Vince McMahon, let's go.
Definitely not. Dragon Viper, how about yourself?
I agree with you. I don't think the storylines will change. I think they'll try and make some changes to those storylines and try to make them better. But I don't think the storylines will change much. And I do see ratings start to go up. People, and even their ticket sales and their attendance are gonna be better than it was before they stopped having the audience, because I believe that it's because of the fact that they're able to go to house shows again. From my understanding, they're having house shows again, and then of course your live shows and stuff. So I see that things will get better. Just their storylines need to get better, but I don't think it's going to get too better.
All right. So now we'll go to our 3rd count of the night, which is, you look back at the first 5 months of the year that WWE has done. What are your thoughts on the first 5 months? who's been that wrestler of the year, or most improved or whatever you want to throw out there. But overall, the first 5 months of the year, I'll tell you, nothing's really changed. It's kind of just been the same old storylines the whole 5 months. The wrestler of the year for me right now would actually be really, really tough in that 5 months, because I know people would have to say, oh, it's got to be Roman Reigns. Oh, it has to be Drew McIntyre. Oh, it's got to be – no. It does not have to be any of them. When I look at the first 5 months, who to me has really stuck out, Cesaro, he's finally gotten a huge push, so congratulations for him. He stuck out. You still have Seth freaking Rollins. You have Kevin Owens. So you still have those main tier guys who are still up there. So for me personally, I can't sit there and tell you who the best wrestler of the year was so far for the first 5 months. I can just tell you that overall the 5 months has not changed, and it's been the same, and I'm hoping that a change is coming soon so we're not seeing the same old storylines the whole time. But Dragon Viper, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's hard to choose even a top star at this point. There was improvement with Cesaro, which that's a good thing. But it's real difficult. I mean, even looking at it, going, tag team, one of the biggest shockers of the 5 months, whether I like it or not, would happen to be the Mysterios winning the tag titles. I mean, was it a shocker? To some, it was, but other than that, I mean, I can't really, I mean, because you're right. It's the same storylines over and over and over at this point. And it doesn't help that Vince is standing in the back, ripping up contracts, or not contracts, but
Storylines.
Scripts, and changing storylines within the half hour to an hour before the show. And even sometimes doing it in the middle of the show. So when he stops doing that and starts letting people, write the scripts and would be okay with it, then things would get better. But the last 5 months has just been the same thing dragging on. I mean, it feels like it doesn't feel like 5 months. It's been, a year and 5 months almost. So that's what it feels like. So I don't know. I mean, yeah.
All right, mess around. Go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so the guy for me that stood out for the males is Damian Priest. Ever since he's came up, it's nothing but great things in the ring, and his promos are great. The guy stood out to me as far as anybody else for wrestler, up and coming guy of the year. Most improved for me is Matt Riddle. That guy's really grown on me. RK Bro, I love everything about it. And then for the women, it's Bianca Belair. By far, head and shoulders above any other women wrestler right now.
All right. Well, thank you for that. So now that concluded our 3-count topics, I'll give you each about 30 to 45 seconds to tell me and finish up, kind of any last remaining thoughts. So Dragon Viper, I'll go ahead and go with you. You got 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah, just, I have to add that, I agree with Christy. I like Damian Priest as well. He's amazing, and he has gotten better, since showing up on the main roster. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next week, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Johnny Drip Drip. Okay, mess around.
Johnny Drip Drip. Love
Johnny
it.
Drip Drip.
So I hope you guys all enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend and you had some good food going on the grill and drank a few brews. Thanks for watching. And thanks as always, Chris, for doing the behind the scenes stuff. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much for that behind the scenes stuff there, Chris. And I want to wish The Miz a speedy recovery. Hope he comes back soon. We can't wait to see you back. You know why? Because he's The Miz and he's
awesome.
Awesome.
Right.
So we can't wait to see.
Awesome.
So we definitely can't wait to see The Miz back again. But to go back on that, yes, I do like Damian Priest. I like what he's brought so far. So I've been really, really impressed with him. So him and Johnny Drip Drip should stay in this feud going for a while too. Because Johnny Drip Drip, I like Johnny Drip Drip. I like him. He's awesome.
Good old John.
So with that, I hope everybody enjoyed another episode of Between the Ropes. And tomorrow night, you can catch an episode of Cooking with Jody. And then tomorrow night, you can also catch Four Bros. So I hope everybody has a fantastic night. And we will see you next Sunday for another episode of Between the Ropes. But hold up. Before we call it here, MI6 Network is actually going live tonight for the Sports Lounge. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it's not the Sports Lounge. It's actually Night Shift. They're doing the night shift tonight, so they're going on late. They're going to be talking about basically just headline scores that's happened throughout the day. So catch that tonight on the MI Sports Network. So everybody have a fantastic night, and we will see you again.
Later.